Alrighty guys, welcome back to another tutorial, and in this one we are going to be covering the help command and also embeds. Now I know this sounds kind of boring, the help command, oh my god, that's like the most boring thing we could talk about, but it actually is a very important part of bot development because even if you have the coolest bot in the entire world, if no one knows how to use it or if it's confusing, then it's never going to be popular. So what I did is I copied over the source code from the last tutorial and I removed some functions just because I wanted to have some simple commands. So basically we have two commands, the punch and the roundhouse kick. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be removing the doc string from this roundhouse kick, and this is just to demonstrate something in a second. And then for this punch doc string, I will say this command punches another player. We'll pretend we're making a game or something. All right, now the reason I changed that is to demonstrate this concept right here. I'm gonna go ahead and run this bot and pop open Discord, and I'm gonna use my command prefix and just type help. Now before I hit enter, I wanna point out that I do not have a help command written. I only wrote two commands, and that is punch and roundhouse kick, those commands that we wrote in the last tutorial. So now let me go ahead and hit enter right here, and you can see that indeed TutorialBot did respond. And that is because this library comes basically with a default help command and some logic built in around it. So it's gonna basically tell you the instructions of your commands. It's gonna take its best guess. Help, this was again the one that we didn't write. It just says shows this message. Now punch, remember we have a doc string, and the comment we left is this command punches another player, so that is where this is pulling this from. And then roundhouse kick, we don't have any doc string, so that's why it said nothing. So just to reiterate, the help command is gonna go through, look at all your commands, and then for any description text, it's gonna pull those from the doc strings. Now, this is great and all, but let's say we want to write our own custom help command, and you're gonna be doing this like 95% of the time. So how do we do that? Well, let me go ahead and just copy this because I'm a little bit lazy. And instead of punch, I'm just going to name this help. All right. So the help for this example, we're actually going to be removing this argument because whenever you type help like this, you don't pass anything in after it. You just basically type help and that's it. So now how do we overwrite this? Well, let's say that instead of the default text that we send back to the user, which had all that standardized built-in logic, let's say that instead we want to send back just a simple string that says, this is a custom help command. All right, so we weren't digging that default help command, so we decided to write our own. Now let me go ahead and run this, and what is this right there? I'm getting an error, and all I was trying to do is overwrite this default help command. Well, check this out. In order to actually overwrite the default help command, there is one more bit of code that you need, and that is bot.remove command. And in here, you need to explicitly say that you are removing the default help command. And now, if we go ahead and rerun this, all right, no errors. That's always a good thing. Now, when we go ahead and type help, instead of this default logic that it returned the first time, it now is returning our own custom logic. And this says, this is the custom help command. All right, so that's pretty cool. That's how we can standardize a string output. But what I want to do now is just spice this up a little bit, make it look a little bit better. So let's go ahead and plop back in our source code and learn about embeds. Now an embed, I'm sure you guys saw it before. You may have not known that it was called an embed, but it's that fancy output that usually has a color on the left-hand side. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, you'll see in just 1 second. So either way, if you make a variable called embed and set it equal to discord.embed, just like that, then let's go ahead and just create one real quick just to see what it is. So I'm going to give this a title, and I'm going to say the title is going to be bot command, since this embed element is going to override that default text that we're printing out right here. So the title of this embed is going to be bot commands, And again, we're going to be adding some more information to this embed, but just to show you guys what the heck this thing is, let me go ahead and run this. And now let me plop open Discord again and write help. And there you go. So it's this element right here. And even though the default color is like dark gray or black, this is usually like red or green, or we can actually customize this color. And well, let's go ahead and do that right now. So like I said, you can customize the color of that left-hand bar. Some other cool things that you can do is, forgot my comma here, is you can leave a description and we'll say, okay, so this is going to be overriding the help command. So we'll say, welcome to the help section. Here are all the commands for this game. All right, looking beautiful. So this is of course going to add the description. Now we said we were going to override that color. So what spelling do we want to go with? We'll go with the American one here. So in order to add a color, you add the color attribute, and the value is just going to be equal to Discord. Now we are going to be using the color class, and make sure that this is the one with the uppercase C. And then from here, whenever you press period, if you have autocomplete, then it's going to give you all the available colors. But let's see, let's just choose green, nice and simple. And all right, our embed is looking good. Let me go ahead and rerun this and we will see what we got going on. So I'm gonna type help and there you go. So we got our title, our nice little description now, and now we got a beautiful green outline or border or whatever it's called. All right, what else can we do with this embed? Well, one thing that you can do, if you ever saw an embed, they have images embedded in there. That is called the thumbnail. So if we go embed.set thumbnail, then we can pass in a URL, and I actually have, I wonder if this one works. So let me copy an image address. This is just a profile photo of my GitHub. It's basically my face, as you guys are going to see in just a second. But in addition to setting a thumbnail or having an image in your embed, whenever people want to add actual documentation for the commands, what they do is they add those as fields. So if you type embed add field, then what you can do is you can give each field a name, a value, and then specify if it's inline or not. And I'll show you guys the difference between inline and not inline. So the name of this first field, again, what you can just list out is the command name. And then for the value, this is basically going to be the description. And I'll say that the help command, we'll say list all of the commands. And first, let me just go ahead and set inline to true, and then I'll run this and set inline to false. And then we can see the difference between those. So I already have the field for the help command. Now let me just do the punch and the roundhouse kick. So copy and paste that twice. All right, so the second one will be punch and the third one will be roundhouse kick. And we'll say punch, what did we have right here? This command punches another player. And we'll just keep it simple. Actually, let's say punch another player. And then we'll say roundhouse kick another player. All right, so our embed is now styled. We should now have an image appearing in it. And then we have 3 fields that we added to symbolize our 3 commands that we have in there. So let me go ahead and run this bad boy and pop open Discord. And all right. So now let me go ahead and write help again, and there you go. So there is my beautiful face, and same stuff as before. However, now we have 3 fields where it just, kind of spices up the documentation. Now, right now, remember, this is with inline true. So they appear all next to each other, and I'm sure you guys can guess with that little hint what's going to happen when we write inline false. Spoiler alert, they are just going to appear on top of each other. So let me go ahead and run that one more time. And then you guys are going to get a nice comparison here with inline true. This is what the commands look like. With inline false, they just stack right on top of each other. So check this out. We went from this fugly looking help command to this nice, beautiful, gorgeous help command. I mean, there you go. That is an embed right there. And again, embeds don't only have to be used with the help command. You can actually use those in other places, as we're going to see in the upcoming tutorials. But there you go. That's the basics of help and embeds. I hope you liked the tutorial, and I will see you guys next time.